Hello, today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite recipes, buckwheat with mushrooms and kale. So what you will need, it's a very simple, is some chopped up garlic, some chopped up onion, some mushrooms, some kale, and then some buckwheat, which I've already pre-cooked, and you cook the buckwheat exactly the same way you do rice. I'm going to saute the onions and the garlic in some sesame seeds. I'm going for a more Asian flavor. And I've got this delicious Chinese 5-spice, which gives it that great bit of depth. And you can either use, I like a gluten-free soy sauce, but I also like liquid aminos. They're just a little cleaner, healthier, so it's always a good option. And maybe something to look for if you're not using it already. So let's get started. So we'll start by, I'm not great with measurements, but think about, you need enough oil to, bring flavor into the onions. And I love the sesame seed oil for this dish, and the garlic. And of course, if you wanted to bring some heat into it, you could add some fresh chilies or some cayenne pepper. We'll just get that going. While the onions and the garlic are sauteing, I'm just going to add a bit of this 5-spice, probably half a teaspoon. Again, it's quite strong, depends on your taste. And I tend not to use salt when I'm using a soy sauce, but I'm definitely going to add some pepper. So from here, I'm going to add my mushrooms because the mushrooms take longer to cook than the kale. So I'm just going to add those in. Whoopsie, don't do that. And just keep mixing it around. You don't want anything to catch. And you can always add a bit more oil. I would say start with a tablespoon of sesame seed oil. And if you don't have sesame seed, you could use olive oil, would be fantastic. So oil of your choice. So as you can see, the mushrooms have softened. It's probably taken about 5 minutes. And now I'm going to add the kale. And I just had pre-chopped all of this. And I don't like to have lots of big chunky kale, so I kind of really cut it down. And we'll just add that in. And again, this will just take a few minutes to break down. Good idea just to keep moving it around. And you can see now that we've got, this is softening. The kale is getting into a softer texture. And now I'm just going to add in the pre-cooked buckwheat. And last night I cooked this and I actually mixed things up and decided to cook it in some vegetable stock, and actually it's really delicious. It's got a lot of flavor, even just to eat on its own. You could use it as a alternative to rice or anything like that. And it's a little cold because it's been sitting in the fridge. But you can see it's pretty fluffy, and if you were making this, you could have just had the buckwheat cooking and then just throw it in hot. So this is just going to take a little longer to heat through because it's been sitting cold in the fridge. So I'm just adding a tablespoon of soy sauce, and that's the end of that. And what I advise you to do is add a tablespoon, and have a taste test and see if it needs some more. What you don't want to do is have too much soy sauce in there and it's just too salty. And again, I've gone for a gluten-free option. I'm always just trying to find ways to avoid having gluten, simply because it's an inflammatory. So we want to use as many anti-inflammatory products as possible. Quick and easy. The buckwheat has a delicious nutty flavor to it, and I hope you like this. I find it delicious, and you could add a piece of chicken, fish, you know, beef, whatever you want as a side, and you know, and then just plump it out with some more veg. So some broccoli, some beans, some cabbage, and just yeah, crowd it out with lots of vegetables. Bon appetit.